Welcome to Introduction to Business Management 111 online, offered by Harper College. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This week we'll be covering Chapter 4, which is Ethics, Chapter 5, which is different forms of business structures, and Chapter 6, which is Entrepreneurship. Chapter 5 and 6 are together. Before I go on, let's just talk about what happened last week. If I look, I've got some notes. Last week, I think we did mostly pretty good. That's still our first week. We went in there. We had a lot of questions. One of the main questions that a lot of students had was on the forum. Now, we only had bio and just ask your questions and open questions through forums. This week, we're going to have two forums again. The first forum is going to be on your business. Remember, part of your business major paper for this class is to write a business plan. I have a whole thing on how to write a business plan. All a business plan is an action plan in in business. So what you're going to be doing, I'll give you the template. I'll give you 13 headers. I'll tell you what you need to put underneath there. What is going to happen is all the 20 chapters from this book will be all put together for this business plan. So the 13 headers will basically have the marketing chapter, have the advertising, you have something about management, you have something about forecasting, you have something about HR, you have everything on there. Okay, so that's your major paper. So in this form, your first form, you're going to tell me, I'm going to open up a hot dog stand. I'm going to open up a consulting. I don't care what. And look, I know some people are going to say, I'm not going to be open up a business. I'm going to work in the corporate world. The same mechanism that you're going to do opening up creating for the business plan is the same mechanism utilized in what we would call in business an action plan. Okay, so we have that. So okay, so the forms, let's go. So you're going to have the one form, you're going to answer the question. Remember, the form is worth 15 points. The first post usually should be done by Tuesday. Wednesday the last. The first post, basically, you'll be responding to the questions I ask you. So I'm asking you, what kind of business you're going to open up, what's the name of the business, and some other information. Okay, so then you'll post that. I will respond to that and say, hey, that's a good idea, yes, no, or sometimes says, hey, go with it. And I'll give you maybe 7 points out of the 15. The other points are when you respond to two or three other students within the week at 3 separate different days. So in the first post you put in there and respond to 2, I'll give you 7 points. Boom. And then you respond again on Thursday, and then I'll up the points again. It's whenever I come back in, I keep on upping it until Saturday is the last time for the forum. So we got the forum taken care of. You should be all right. Read my rubrics on the forum. Look at my orientation. We'll talk about it. Okay, so we've got that. The connect. Now the connect, you have to do it. Those are easy points. You can do the connect as many times as you want. The connect is worth 20 points or 15 points. 10 points usually per chapter is usually what I do for a connect assignment. Now, you'll do the connect. You have to submit it. Once you submit it, you'll score it. You'll come back and say, hey, I only got 15 out of 20. I want to do it again. You could go back again. It'll reset the clock. Last week I did it where it'll ask you new questions. I'll give you the same questions back again. So reset the clock and try it again another time. Again, you had the same question, and now I know it, and now I'll get to 20. That's how you're learning. Learning new information and data is through repetition. Okay, so we have that. Somebody asked me, could you work ahead? You would always work ahead. We're going to have the second form going to be on the business plan. Look at the button, the business plan. It has business plan information. It has a quick or YouTube orientation about the business plan. I have documentation. I got old business plan. It'll give you just an idea. So now what we'll be doing, the chapters going forward, some of the forms we're going to take to forums and utilize that to ask you or help you create some of the components of the business plan. Not only you, but other students can say, hey, their marketing plan, that sounds kind of good. Did you think about going to the advertiser or something else like that? Okay, so that's what we have. So now let's go into this week. Week 4. This week, chapter 4, ethics. Now, ethics, when I look at ethics, is basically, it's nice to have people who have integrity. And most people with integrity in the United States were more situational type of an ethics. So basically, it depends on the situation whether I'm going to be ethical or not. But so that's why most of the people with our ethics, the way the ethics are set up is more of compliance. I set up rules and regulations, and most people will not violate any kind of the ethical rules because they're afraid they're going to get fired or punishment because they're breaking the policy. As a business owner, since people come from different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnic society cultures, for lack of a better word, different countries, you have different conceptual ideas of what ethics is. So as a business, you will give me a two sentence for your business plan. My ethical policy is treat the customer right, everyone treat everyone with respect, whatever you want. Okay, so when you get the chapter, okay, the next chapter is an interesting chapter, chapter 5. Now, chapter 5 is going to look at different business structures. When you read this whole chapter, you're going to find out the sole proprietorship is basically the easiest form of business and the largest numbers of businesses, small businesses in the United States. Then goes partnership, but they have a small impact, about maybe like 30–40% of the economic equation. And then you have the partnerships and corporation, everything else. You have limited liabilities. What you want to get out of this chapter is to remember that the structure, no matter what structure you have, has different value to it. The structure that you're looking for is the structure for simplistic, what's going to afford, or am I at? But as you go forward, when you start going to like a partnership, or if you start going to limited liability, or if you start going to thinking about bringing in a limited partner, you're looking at how do I reduce my liability? Which one helps me minimize my liability? Not from a business perspective as much, but if the business goes under, which one will allow me to keep most of my personal asset, because that liability, my personal wealth and gain, should be separate. But that only depends. If I'm a sole proprietor or a partnership, if my business cannot sustain the losses, if it goes under and has to pay out to my creditors or my debtors, it basically will come after my personal asset. If I am a limited liability organization, it's like a hybrid. Some corporation aspect to it and some partnership aspect to it. I'm taxed up to as a partnership 15%, but I have unlimited liability for my personal asset. And then corporation. When do I corporate? Why would I corporate? What is the advantage of corporation? Double taxation. So that's chapter 5. The last chapter is entrepreneurship. When I look at entrepreneurship, a lot of books will take chapter 5 and chapter 6 together. To be a small business owner, to be a leader, is an entrepreneur. What kind of skills? I'm a risk taker. I'm not afraid to take that risk. I will take a calculated risk. I look out. I'll create something that hasn't been there before. So you have an entrepreneur. The difference between an entrepreneur and a small business, if I have a hot dog stand and I buy it from somebody else, I'm a small business owner. If I want to open up a hot dog stand and I'm opening up from scratch and there never was a hot dog stand like mine, even though there's 1,000 hot dog stands out there, I am now an entrepreneur. Now that hot dog stand, the other person opened up a small business. I'm only selling hot dogs. But now at this time, I'm going to think about, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to start selling tacos. I'm going to start selling Polish sausage or maybe pizza or something else. So now I open up a new product. I become an entrepreneur for that new product line. So in business, small business, I'm an entrepreneur and business owner all combined together. I'm a risk taker. In the corporate world, they have entrepreneurs. Those are people who are like in the marketing things, come up with new ideas that are a little more flexible, have a little more flexibility, so that creativity will come out. Okay, so those are the 3 chapters. So this week, what you have the 3 chapters, chapter 4, 5, and 6. You will have a connect that's only worth 30 points, but only covering chapter 5 and 6, those 2 together. And then you'll have a quiz covering chapters 4 and 5, or it could be the other way around. But so worth for 20 points. So remember, you have your readings, you have your 2 forums. Your second forum is going to be look at the business plan, look at every information, and it's, look on the second forum, the mini forums, the small forums. All you have to say, Dr. M, Dr. George Mochocki, I looked at it. There's no issues there. I understand everything I need. Thank you anymore. You are still responsible to read and the forums for other people's posts. I'm not going to repeat the same question, just like being in the classroom. All right, so I think you've done well. Most of you doing, you got your B's, you got your A's. You're a little bit light on some of the quizzes, but welcome to this class. You're doing fine. And remember, you're doing 3 chapters. You're doing perfect. And I want to wish you all the best. So I'll see you in the forum in a little bit. Bye. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Management 111 online, offered by Harper College, utilizing Blackboard Course Management System 9.1, covering Chapter 4, Ethics, Chapter 5, Business Structures, and Chapter 6, Entrepreneur. And I'll see you in the forum in a second. Bye.